Hello everyone, I'm Nobutanas, and I'm here with you today with a video about the exciting mobile app called Hero Wars. With a lot of new players joining Hero Wars recently, I wanted to talk a little bit about team building in the game. We're going to lay out the basic composition, including the importance of support characters. So let's get to it. So when putting together a team, you want to follow some sort of basic team composition. Now, the main two things you need in your 5-person team is going to be your DPS or your damage dealer and your tank. Now, your DPS, that is going to be your monster. That is the person that you want dishing out the most damage possible to the enemy team. Whereas your tank is going to be the person soaking up as much damage as possible to give your DPS more time to dish out damage. Now, your DPS can be either physical based or magical based. Now, you generally want both your DPS and tank to be the same damage type. So if your DPS is going to be a physical based DPS, then you want to go with a physical based tank. And same with magical based DPS, you want to go with a magical based tank. Except for Astaroth. Astaroth goes with every single team out there. So now we've got your DPS and your tank. That leaves 3 more spots available. Now with these spots, you can fill in with a secondary DPS to assist in the first one, such as the Lars Krista combination. You can also fill in with a healer. 2 healers if you really want, and then support characters. Now, Nobu, why would we want to put support characters? If we look at Jorgen, Jorgen deals like no DPS. Well, let's get a closer look into Jorgen itself with this Jorgen breakdown. The main draw of Jorgen is twofold. 1, it is very easy to obtain his soul stones in the shop. And 2, he's very strong about controlling the energy on the field as well as providing a shield to your friends and helping destroy the damage dealer. So let's look at his individual skills in here. So the first one, Torment of Powerlessness. What that does is it deals damage to the enemy as well as makes it so they cannot get any energy themselves for 9 seconds. Second ability, Cycle of Energies. It is a magical shield that also allows the ally to gain energy at double the rate. Now, the next ability is Leper. What it does is Jorgen curses the enemy that is furthest away. Generally, this enemy is going to be one of the lower health enemies, possibly a healer, possibly a high DPS character. But what it does is it redirects physical damage to this character, wiping out the squishies or the further characters first. And then his final ability, Tainted Wounds. What this does is every single attack Jorgen does, he steals energy from the enemy team, making it so Jorgen gets his ability off first to stop energy gain, as well as making it so they don't gain energy as quickly. With all this said, even though he doesn't apply the DPS, what he does is he makes it possible for your DPS to live longer, as well as for the enemy team's DPS not to be able to attack as often, again, assisting in your DPS to live longer. One other thing to consider when putting together your team composition is what characters is it easy for you to 6-star. These are going to be characters that are in the shops, that are available easily from Guild Wars, or from events. Also, before investing in these characters, you may want to look at the hero tier list. Now, this isn't always up to date, but heroes in the D and F range of the tier list may not be worth investing in. This is something that you need to consider and look at when working into it. Also, some of these in the D and F just don't scale well. So, Ginger, which does very, very well up to around level 90, falls off at near level 120. So that's something you may not want to continue to invest in later on, but could still be a strong asset to your team as you're growing up in the levels. If you're confused about ideas on who to choose, be sure to check out the arena challenges to see what the enemies are fielding, as well as the cross-server Guild Wars. This is going to give you a great idea of what team compositions other servers are using to succeed. So now, let's do our own little exercise as we put together a team. Now for this alt character that I've created, one of the first things that we're going to notice is that Kiera is readily available. So we're going to jump in and let Kiera be one of our monsters for our DPS of the team. Now Kiera is physical based, which means we're going to want a physical tank. We can either use Astaroth or Galahad. In this instance, I decided to use Galahad because he was readily available. So now we've got our DPS and our tank. Next, we want to add our healer. We got Celeste, a very strong, powerful healer that you can get very quickly at the beginning of the game. Next, we want to support Kiera. one of Kiara's abilities is that she is very good at dealing extra damage if she has enough armor penetration on the enemy. With that, we look at King Mao. King Mao, what she does is she reduces the armor of enemies, a very good support hero for Kiara. So now we need to round it up with one final hero, and we're looking for another support character. We turn to Nebula. The reason for this is she is readily available inside the Guild Wars shop for silver medals and has a very powerful synergy with both physical and magical heroes. So if we ever need to swap her to another team, that'll work very well. So now we've got our team of Kiara for our DPS, Galahad for our tank, King Mao for our support, Nebula for our support, and Celeste for our healer. Composition put together. And that's it. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys around. Take care.